L-I-N-E?
Macomber, yes. And Wiseman Macomber.
Oh, sorry. And
Michael
Yeah.
Oh God, that's Caroline's.
I like this head joint much better. I like my old head joint way better than the one that came with the food.
And you still want us to come? Right. Well, you want more? I'll go.
and I will. It is.
So gonna be. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. So, no, Facebook without a face.
That is me.
I couldn't tell. There's a little different pose there.
Well, it's a different
Arthur
pose,
Frankel's
yeah.
right.
That's me.
Yep. All set.
And we also have a Kevin Platt, I think.
In your site?
In yard site, yes. Kevin.
Yep.
Yep, that's it.
All set.
Good, thank you.
What is I?
I thought it was
Oh.
so beautiful. Lisa, your voice is
I have no word here.
Can you,
Thank you.
Yeah, make sure it doesn't bother you.
also says it's hard to see the notes in front of my leg. You know what I mean?
Yeah, put further. You can cover it up a little.
I'm supposed to keep going.
I just left my coat upstairs.
I'm done with that.
I noticed that nobody starts on timer.
Yeah, that's true. That's the. After that, we're doing. Lachadodi comes really fast after
Here's the
that.
thing right there.
Yeah, it really.
Yeah, okay. Kinemato. We're not doing candles then, I take it.
Mm.
No.
Is that better?
It's good, thank you.
Oh.
Oh, come on. It's going to get actually warmer, I think, in the next week.
A little bit, it said, they said. But we're not going to be able to do these outside for much longer. Because first of all, it's dark. How come they didn't give you lights?
Oh yeah.
Where are the lights? It's gonna get bad. I don't have one right now. I
Why
have
didn't they give you a light?
Oh, and
Where
I
are the
left my.
lights coming from? Doc?
I have another one, so I can give this one to one of you.
Oh. Oh, by the way,
I have those two.
Whose eyes need a light?
do you need this?
I've got some.
You got okay.
But the problem is if I have to turn a page during
Yeah,
the page.
it's hard. Yeah.
What?
I can use it though. Put it on the page. You have only one?
Yeah.
It's okay right now. Maybe we can put it in between if we need it.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, we'll probably let's save the battery. Oh, you have another one too. Cool. Yeah, you. Most of all, you need a light. We actually can just fake.
I put
and on Monday or
third
at the
name on
clergy
there.
meeting, you will ask why
that happened.
we didn't know this. Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Shabbat shalom, everyone.
Shabbat shalom.
Now you know we're Jews because we're 10 minutes late. So I think that's, par for the course. It's great to see all of you. I have to say, I consider you all among the most righteous of the righteous, because to be back in shul, one day after Yom Kippur, that's a lot. I'm very proud of you. Let me just put it that way, okay? And we're going to have a beautiful service together. I'm really happy to be with Cantor-Shapiro and our musicians, and to be here in this beautiful spot. Before we do anything else, let's just take a moment and turn to your left or your right, in front of you, behind you, and in a COVID-safe way, meet your neighbor and say hello.
Shabbat shalom.
Okay. Next. Let me just paraphrase the Talmud for a moment here. If you are unable to speak, but you pray with sincerity, your prayers are accepted by God. If you are unable to rise, but pray with sincerity, your prayers are accepted by God. If you're unable to hear, but pray with sincerity, your prayers are accepted by God. If your cell phone goes off in the middle of the service, good luck to you. So please, let's all take out our phones, myself included, and let's turn them off. And if you're a physician on call, just put it on silent. We have 3 B'nai Mitzvah with us, which is the sign of a healthy congregation for sure. We want to welcome and congratulate in advance Caroline and Piper and Penny. Mazel tov to all of you. It's fantastic, and you're going to participate in our service, and we're proud of you. Very proud of you. We're proud of your parents as well. Cantor, where shall we begin?
I think we should start with Hine Ma Tov, because even though we got to kind of be together over the High Holy Days, it is so nice to see all of your faces in person, and I just want to celebrate how wonderful it is to be here with you, Rabbi, and with all of you. Page 10, Hine Ma Tov.
Hine ma tov u'manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov u'manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov u'manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov u'manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov, ya la la, ya la 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 la. Hine ma tov, ya la la, ya la 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 la. Hine ma tov u'manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov u'manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. And now I want to invite forward mothers, grandmothers to come on up and help us in leading and the prayer and lighting the Shabbat candles. I actually mean the grandmothers of the B'nai Mitzvah, not all grandmothers. Yes, and aunts too, Linny. Glad you're up there. All right, we're on pages 2 and 3, and I'm going to ask all of you to read the first paragraph on page 3 together, and then light the candles, and we'll all sing the blessing together. Pages 2 and 3. Okay.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu להדליק נר של Shabbat.
Mazel tov. Mazel tov, everyone. You go ahead and be seated. We'll go to Lecha Dodi. Go right to Lecha Dodi. Lecha Dodi on page 20. And just a reminder, this is the song, this is really an acrostic poem that we use to welcome Shabbat into the synagogue, into our hearts, our families, our lives. And we're going to do verses 1, 2, 5, and 9. And for verse 9, we all rise, face the entrance behind us, and bow to welcome the Sabbath Queen into our midst. And keep in mind that as we face and bow, and I know that there are different time zones all over the world, but keep in mind that we're part of, like a wave at a stadium, time zone by time zone, of Jews bowing to welcome the Sabbath. Lecha Dodi, page 20. Kabbalat, B'nei Shabbat, et Kabbalat. Chatzi Kaddish, page 26.
יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה ויעמד יברח חירותי וימליך מלכותי בחייכון וביומכון ובחיי כל בית ישראל בגלה בגלה ובזמן קריב ויאמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מבורך לעלם עולמי עלמיה יתברך. יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי תקודשה
בריחו
בריחו לעילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה
תושבחתה ונחמתה דמירן בעלמה
ויאמרו אמן.
Turn to page 28 now. We rise for the Baruch Hu. Just a minute, we're going to read the words of Ma'ariv Aravim on page 30 in English together. But before we do, just a very quick and brief observation, something I learned today. This prayer was written by people who spent their lives under the stars at night. They didn't live the way we live. There wasn't light pollution. There wasn't smog. Almost everyone had the opportunity to be amazed, to be utterly amazed every night of their lives as they looked up into the night sky. Yesterday, an amateur astronomer who constantly makes videos with his telescope, left his telescope and left the video camera on, connected to it, and he captured, for only the second time that the image has ever been captured, of an explosion of light on the planet Pluto. In that 1 second. And I was reading about it, and it turns out that Pluto, which I always thought of as the tiniest little planet way out there on the edge, if you compared the size of Earth to the size of Pluto, it would be comparing the size of a quarter to a basketball. Pluto is larger than all of the other planets in our solar system combined. It is incredible. The stars are incredible. They are proof positive of a force, a creative force, and a powerful force far greater than we. And our ancestors were in touch with that in a way that it's very difficult for us to be, unless we look through a telescope and forget to turn off the video camera. So this is an opportunity to just pause and be in awe and gratitude for the power and the beauty and the wonder of creation. Let's read together. Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, ruler of the universe, who speaks the evening into being, skillfully opens the gates, thoughtfully alters the time and changes the seasons, and arranges the stars in their heavenly courses according to plan. You are creator of day and night, rolling light away from darkness and darkness from light, transforming day into night and distinguishing one from the other. Adonai Tsevaot is your name. Ever-living God, may you reign continually over us into eternity. Blessed are you, Adonai, who brings on the evening.
El chai v'kayam tamid yimloch aleinu le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Hamari v'Rabim.
If you're wearing a wedding ring, just hold your hand up. I'm going to tell you another very sweet thing that happened yesterday. I got home from services and I asked my wife Betsy, which every rabbi asks his or her spouse after the service, were you watching? And she said, I was. And I said, well, what'd you think? She said, there was a moment up there where I saw your ring on your finger and I thought to myself, he's mine. And that was a beautiful, sweet moment. It was her way of avoiding discussing the sermon also, but that's another matter. And I thought about the symbolism of a wedding ring. It's a symbol of love. And this beautiful prayer, Ahavat Olam, is about God's symbol of love to us, which is the Torah. This is a prayer that thanks God for loving us by giving us the Torah. This is God's way of saying, you're mine. And it's our way of saying to God, you're mine. Ahavat Olam, page 32.
Ahavat Olam Beit Yisrael Amcha Ahavta Ra'u mitzvot Chukim u'mishpatim Otanu limadta Al kein Adonai Eloheinu B'shochmeinu Uvkumeinu Na'asiach b'chukecha Al kein בחוקיך ונשמח בדברי תורתך ומצוותיך לעולם ועד כי הם חיינו באורך ימינו ובהם נגע יומם ולילה כי הם חיינו באורך ימינו ובהם נגע יומם ולילה כי הם חיינו באורך ימינו ובהם נגע יומם ולילה כי הם חיינו באורך ימינו ובהם נגע יומם ולילה באהבתך אל תסיר ממנו לעולמים ברוך אתה אדוני אוהב עמו ישראל שמע ישראל אדוני אלוהינו אדוני אחד ברוך שם כבוד מלכותו לעולם ועד. Please be seated. I want to invite our B'nai Mitzvah forward to lead us in the chanting of the Ve'ahavta, which you'll find on page 36. Here, use this mic.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך והיו הדברים האלה אשר אלוהים מצווך היום על לבביך ושיננת לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך וקשרתם להיות על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
Let's all read the English together on page 37.
Love your God with every heartbeat, with every breath, with every conscious act. Keep in mind the words I command you today. Teach them to your children. Talk about them at work. Whether you are tired or you are rested, let them guide the work of your hands. Keep them in the forefront of your vision. Do not leave them at the doorway of your house or outside your gate. They are reminders to do all of my mitzvot, so that you can be holy for God.
I am Adonai your God. I led you out of Egypt to become your God. I am Adonai your God.
On page 40, you'll find the Micha Mocha. It's a special meaning on this Shabbat immediately after Yom Kippur, in my mind at least. This is, many of you know, our freedom song. This is the oldest Hebrew poem that we know of. And this is, according to Torah, the part of what was what our ancestors just sang out when they crossed the sea to freedom. I don't remember who it was. It's an historian writing about the French Revolution. And he said, before we congratulate people on their freedom, we ought to wait and see what they do with it. All of us, myself included, just engaged in one of the most incredible exercises of human freedom I can imagine, which is the freedom to change our lives. That's what the High Holy Days are really about. That we're not purely instinctual animals, that we're free to change our lives. And I made a lot of promises yesterday. And I'm free to live those promises. But before we congratulate ourselves on our freedom, let's wait and see what we do with it, what will become of our promises. I hope to be standing right here next year with you on the Shabbat after Yom Kippur, and we'll all be able to congratulate ourselves on what we're going to do in the coming year with really the most miraculous of things, the freedom to change for the better. Micha Mocha, page 40. Page 42, Hashkivenu.
השכיבנו לשלום והעמידנו שומרנו לחיים ופרוס עלינו סוכת שלומך השכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו השכיבנו לשלום השכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו השכיבנו לשלום. Let there be love. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms.
I'm going to invite our B'nai Mitzvah back up. They're going to lead us in the Amidah, which begins on page 46. Page 46. Everyone, please rise.
שפתי תפתח ופי יגיד תהילתך. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו ואלוהי אבותינו ואמותינו אלוהי אברהם אלוהי יצחק אלוהי יעקב אלוהי שרה אלוהי רבקה אלוהי רחל ואלוהי לאה האל הגדול הגיבור והנורא אל עליון גומל חסדים טובים וקונה הכל וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם למען שמו ברחבה מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן ברוך אתה אדוני מגן אברהם בעזרת שרה אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני מחיי הכל אתה רב להושיע מורי אתה מחכה חיים בחסד מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים סומך נופלים ורופא חולים ומתיר אסורים ומקיים אמונתו בלי שני עפר מי כמוך בעל גבורות ומי דומה לך מלך ממית ומחיי ומצמיח ישועה ונאמנת לך חיות הכל ברוך אתה אדוני מחיי הכל.
Continue with the rest of the Amidah silently, pages 50 through 60.
Please be seated. Shalom Rav, page 62.
Shalom Rav.
Page 60. Shalom Rav Yisrael Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam. Tasim It's time now for the Misha Berach prayer. I talked on Kol Nidre about how it's possible to believe in God and suffer pain at the same time. And I was asked after that about, well, then why are we praying to a God that doesn't literally control our lives? And my answer is that prayer is about gratitude and awe and wonder. And prayer is really not about helping God and not about asking God to grant a wish. Prayer is an expression of love and gratitude. And when someone we love is ill, there's a deeper level of love and gratitude for their lives. And that's what we express when we say the Misha Berach. So if there's someone on whose behalf you'd like us to sing the Misha Berach this evening, and if you're able to, just rise and I'll point to you and you can mention the name or names. If you're not able to rise, just raise your hand. And then we'll sing together the Misha Berach. I've got to get out of the light, I'm sorry. Go ahead, sir. also say Misha Berach this evening for Seema Barrett, Cantor Lee Greenberg, Charles Schwartz, and Karen Shambro. Page 252.
Bless the ones before us. Help us find the courage to make
253.
our lives a blessing. And let us say, Amen. Misha Be'erach Imotenu Mekor HaBracha Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
That siren just made me think of my friend Rabbi Joe Telushkin, who reframed sirens for me. I used to get angry having to pull over for a siren in traffic, or when there was no traffic and I actually had a chance to drive more than 18 miles an hour. And before talking to my friend Joe, I would have been annoyed at that siren in the middle of the Misha Berach. But he said whenever he hears a siren, he takes a moment to be grateful that they're not coming for him. And he's right. How fortunate we are. So we're at the end of the Torah. And, of course, we never stop reading Torah. We roll right back to the beginning and start again. Like... kind of like my mom, forgive and remind. So it starts again. But you just got that? But it is the end of the Torah, and Moses knows he's going to die, and he is told by God, you're going to go up there on that mountain, and you're going to die, and before you do, you're going to be able to see the promised land, but you're not going to get there. You're not going to go to the promised land with the people you're leaving behind. And this whole Torah portion is, in a sense, Moses' final advice, his last words to his people, for them to hold on to when he is gone. And Moses is gone in a way that most of us are unfamiliar with and will not be for us. Moses dies on a mountain and is buried in a nameless grave because the sages, our ancestors, were very cautious never to deify a human being and never wanted his grave to become a place that would in some way become a form of idolatry. If you ever want to find out whether or not anyone knows this about the Torah and Moses' grave, just ask them if when they were in Israel they visited Moses' grave. It's shocking how many people say they did. Yeah. But you can't visit Moses' grave. By the way, Moses' name isn't mentioned in the Haggadah for the same reason. Because it's about God's power, not a human being's power. But these are the greatest Jewish teacher of all time's last words to his people. So I thought we'd take a moment today, for those of us who might be willing to do it. I want to ask you a question, young or old, doesn't matter. If you knew, if you really knew that you were soon going to die, what would you say to the loved ones who are going into the promised land without you? What would be your advice, your blessing, your hope for them? You can think of it in any way you'd like. You can think of it as last words of advice. You can think of it as a final blessing. However you want to think of it. Anybody willing to share with us? Yeah. Hold on, Rick.
Be compassionate.
Be kind. Be compassionate. 2 words. Anyone else?
I was just going to say, don't mourn over smile when you think of me. Don't let it hold you back.
Yeah. Go into the promised land smiling, right? I didn't take you this far to be unhappy, right? Remember me and smile. My dad makes me laugh every day, and he's been dead for 4 years. Because I know exactly the Yiddish word he would use in the moment. And if I translated them, I'd lose my job. He does. He makes me laugh every day. Anyone else? If you had a last chance, Risa.
I would say sei gesund.
Sei gesund. You want to translate that for us?
Be well.
Live well. Be well.
I would say be thankful.
Be grateful. Be grateful. Gratitude. It's a beautiful way to live. It's hard to be depressed if you're grateful. Anyone else? Chazak, chazak. Be strong. It's actually, in a way, what Moses does say to Joshua, who's going to lead the people in. Chazak ve'amatz. Be strong and be courageous. Yeah. Anyone else? Yeah.
Teach love. Oh. Teach love.
Teach love. Ve'ahavta. Love it. Oh, yes.
Take risks.
Wow. Take risks. You know, if you ask most people what's the greatest risk they ever took in their lives and how did it turn out, it's almost always a happy ending, a positive ending. It really is. Take risks. Anyone else? Yeah, Faith. Hold on 1 second.
Give of yourself unconditionally, expect nothing in return, and you'll receive it all.
Give without expectation of reward. Yeah. Yep.
Make the most of every day.
Yeah. Make the most of every day. Number your days. Anyone else? Oh, okay.
Love God. Love God.
Love God. V'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha. Yeah. Okay, I see another hand. You're doing beautifully.
Improve patient outcomes and quality of life.
Love it. All right. Improve outcomes and quality of life. Yes.
Follow these commandments.
Well, which commandments? I mean, if you literally were saying your last piece of advice to the people you love, could you tell us one or two specifically that come to your heart first?
Actually, it's not coming into my head at this moment.
Okay, we'll come back. We'll come back. Anyone else? I've never seen the Gingold family so quiet. No, come on. No? Can't get you to do it. Okay, yes.
Give with your heart. Yeah.
Give from the heart. Yeah, which is sort of like without expectation of of reward.
Well, I was going to go with what your father says, and that's laugh a little.
Yeah, well, actually, my father would have said, charge interest, don't pay it. But that's... I'm serious. He said it to me all the time. We charge interest, we don't pay it. There is a certain wisdom in that, I must say. Actually, my dad, lost the ability to do what... This is part of why I'm asking us to take this opportunity tonight, because you don't always have this opportunity. My dad lost the ability to speak, so he, didn't have this opportunity. And it's an important opportunity. Anyone else? Yeah, Penina.
I hope everybody's going to say welcome home. I hope that everybody over there in Israel will say welcome home.
Those are their words to you. But what will your words be to your family? I'm home. I saw another hand. Yes? Okay, go ahead.
Take the time to really stop and smell the roses.
Slow down.
Pursue your dreams.
Yeah. Pursue your dreams. Stand up straight. And you mean that metaphorically, of course, right? So this is the Wiseman clan here. This is a 5th generation member of Wilshire Boulevard Temple. 5 generations. And I knew Caroline's great-grandparents pretty well, really well, actually. And their great-grandmother and I, and we got the 3 siblings here. It's great to see you all. It's like the Mount Rushmore of the Wiseman family here with Betsy there, too. Etta Wiseman and I had something in common. We both loved to fish. And the last thing she said to me before she died, she said, when you got one on the line, keep the head up. Keep the head up. And I knew exactly, she was saying a lot of things in that keep the head up, like just keep it up. Yeah, really, really loved her. She'd be, and Joe would be really, really, really proud tonight, and really proud to see this front row, And someday we're going to name the mikveh after Joe, which is an insight. Yeah, keep the head up. Got time for one more, 2 more? Yeah, go ahead, nice and loud, and we'll hear it from here.
It would be to stay curious.
Yeah, remain curious. Don't become complacent.
Thank you for loving me.
That's beautiful. And different than I love you. Thank you for loving me. So we never know if we're going to make it to the promised land or not with the people we love, but we do know that they're going to go on without us, and we want to give them something to carry with them. So I urge you to think about it and share it. And in a way, we all have the opportunity to write our own last Torah portion before we begin again. Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat Shalom.
Let's see if we have any announcements here before we continue and conclude our service.
I don't know. Just read your emails, okay? Just please. I do want to congratulate our B'nai Mitzvah. Mazel tov. Mazel tov on tonight. And mazel tov to your parents, your grandparents, uncles, aunts, cousins. We're really proud of you. And congratulations on tomorrow. I know you're a little bit nervous, but I'm going to tell you it's one of the proudest days in your life and in your family's life. And I hope you really, really enjoy every minute of it. Mazel tov to you. Any other announcements? You want to introduce our musicians? Let's thank our musicians.
I would love to thank our amazing musician, Susan Rosenstein, our music director, who has been providing beautiful music without a working pedal this evening. Thank you, Susan. And Leo on the woodwinds, thank you, always adding some spiritual depth and hope. Thank you so much with the bass holding us together with that beautiful cello. We are incredibly grateful for all of you helping us make all of our prayers even more beautiful.
All right. Let's go to page 282. Page 282, and let's rise for the Aleinu.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצא בראשית, שלא עשינו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגור עלינו ככל המונם. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא.
287.
ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו
Please be seated. It's time now for us to enter into moments of Kaddish and memory. I'll begin by reading the names of the loved ones of our congregation who have died during this Shloshim, this past 30 days, followed by the names of those whose yortzites, the anniversary of whose deaths, were commemorated during this past week. Those of us who are here for Shloshim or yortzeit, who are able to do so and wish to do so, I'd ask you to please rise now. I'll then read all of the names, and then the rest of us will rise with you, and we'll all join together in Kaddish, which you'll find on page 294. We begin first with the names of those who have died during this Shloshim. Dan Bunnan, Mildred Chanis, Phyllis Copen, Seema Gapsky, Gloria Gold, Robert Hazlett, Winnie Kaltman, John Kim, Marcia Kate, Layla Kreider, Cynthia Levine, Mary Marina, and Jean Whitney. We add to their names the names of those whose yortzites, the anniversaries whose deaths were commemorated during this past week. Robert Adlin, Sybil Adlin Lewenstein, Solomon Agai, Adeline Applebaum, James Bacon, Norman Bailey, Diane Baracco, Erwin Bernstein, Francis Barris, Bernie Blair, Henrietta Blummer, Earl Bogdanoff, Alfred Bohm, Pearl Bornstein, Barnett Cooperman, Suzanne Koritz, Max Cutler, Carol Jean Davis, Susan DeMille, Gertrude Diamond, Gladys Ehrlich,
Carolyn Farkas, Al Fincy, Anna Fine, Melvin Fischler, Ted Flicker, Arthur Frankel, Simon Frankel, Nathan Friedman, Joan Freeberg, Harry Friedman, Sadie Friedman, Henry Gavin, Beatrice Gary, Stella Gorin, Jenny Gross, Robert Heyman, Marsha Lois Hervey, Martin Hers, Sandra Moss Hyman, Morris Israel, Scott Jacks, Sylvia Kaplan, Lillian Katz, Harold Kaufman, Victor Kessler, Molly Kirshner, Hannah Klass, Shirley Klein, Evelyn Kramer, Leo Kramer, Brian Kulik, Leonard Leader, Mike Lesak, Alfred Levin, Harriet Levi, Lillian Lynn, Lawrence Frank Mandelberg, Lillian Marion, Edward Matlin, Fanny Melamed, Nell Mendelson, Robert Mendelson Jr., Harry Miller, Sadie Mizrahi, Dawn Muir, David Nitka, Pearl Orloff, Bernard Palenker, Mercedes Perez de Tiburcio, Parvin Nazar, Kevin Platt, Cassie Plattis, John Pollock, Marcus Pollock, Celia Riefman, Mildred Roddy Sack, Joseph Roseman, Minnie Rosenberg, Helen Roth, Joshua John Roth, Maurice Sachs, Dorothy Saxey, Clifford Schiffer, Pearl Schneider, Terrell Shanbrom, Helen Shepo, Ben Shevitz, Leon Silver, Jay Slotkin, Lois Surratt, David Spivak, Irene Stein, Samuel Steingold, Myron Sturman, Alan Stone, Linda Sullivan, Judy Tallman, Eileen Tau, Bruce Teichholz, Eugene Tober, Farouk Tuvian, Miriam Allman, Harold Victor, Anatoly Vulkihaman, Lorraine Weintraub, Michael Werner, Sandy Wesley, and Robert Wynn. Are there any other names to add to Kaddish this evening? We also call to mind those we do not know, but to whom we are deeply grateful. All of those who have died defending the United States of America and the State of Israel. Innocent victims of senseless tragedies and terrorism all over the world, and everyone who has no one to say Kaddish for them. We take them all as our own as we rise now to recite Kaddish, page 294. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah be'alma divrach hirutei ve'amlich malchutei v'chayechon u'v'yomechon u'v'chayei dechol Beit Yisrael bagalau v'zman kariv ve'imeru amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevorach leolam u'almei almaya yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh V'yitadar, v'yitalev, v'yitalal, shemed kudsha brichu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, da'amiran ba'alma, v'imeru, amen. Yehei shalama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imeru, amen. Oseh shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, Ve'imeru. Amen.
Shalom
just a moment, I'm going to invite our B'nai Mitzvah forward to lead us in Kiddush and Motzi. I faked the Kiddush my entire childhood. Okay, I was like most Jews. I could get through Baruch Atah Adonai, Borei Pri Hagafen, and then I fell off a cliff. There is only one way to learn the Kiddush, and that is to use the words. Turn to page 4. Page 4 in your prayer book. And I promise you, if you do this 5, 6, 7 nights, Shabbatot in a row, you'll really know Kiddush. But there's no way to do it unless we really look at the words. And there is, by the way, in case you're embarrassed to be looking at the words, you might notice I took the time to find the Kaddish in the prayer book before I began. I know the Kaddish backwards and forwards. But we're not supposed to do prayer by rote. We're supposed to read the words from the prayer book so that it doesn't become rote, so that we focus and concentrate. So using the words is the proper thing to do, because not to use them is to take this casually. So there's no shame in using the words. Page 4, I want to invite all our B'nai Mitzvah forward. Come on up. Well, actually, we're going to start on page 5. Okay, come on up. Come on up. Don't worry. Okay, we're all in this together, right? Okay, top of the page. Cantor, will you help us?
I would love to help.
Okay, because there's safety and security.
Okay. Y'all ready?
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav b'rotzavanu, v'shabbat kodsho b'yahava u'b'ratzon hinchilanu, zikaron lema'aseh v'reishit, ki hu yom techila l'mikra'ei kodesh, zeichel yitziat Mitzrayim. Kivanu v'charta, ve'otanu kidashta, mikol ha'yamim, v'shabbat kodshecha, ve'ahava u'b'ratzon, hinchaltanu. Baruch atah Adonai, mekadesh ha-Shabbat.
Okay, please join us in Motzi. Baruch atah Adonai.
Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz.
Okay, now this is how this is going to go down. Grab that. Put your books down, because this is going to be serious. By the way, there's challah and juice and back for everyone, so you're not going to have to eat this. So relax. All right, you ready? All right, we're going to have a little tug of war and see who wins. Okay? I'm going to count to 3. Here we go. Ready? You do not have to let the rabbi win. All right, everybody ready? 1, 2,
2, 3. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom, everyone. We'll visit and back with you. Shabbat shalom. Good job.